Hey, what's up YouTube? Little man with a big opinion here. In today's video over prepping, I'm going to talk about weather. So it should be a pretty short topic, but I believe it's an important one. It kind of falls in that list in prepping that doesn't get looked at very much, and so that's why I'm going to talk about it. So if you like what I'm doing, please like the video, or if you like what I tell you about this video, like it. If you like what I'm doing with the channel, please think about subscribing. And we're just going to get right on into it. Ever since, technology has taken off, most people at the push of a button, they can look into, their smart device, and they can figure out what the weather is. And some of them have gotten as smart enough to tell you it by hourly. And you can pull up a 7-day forecast, a 10-day forecast, and the 2-week forecast. And all of this is really cool. It used to be it smells like rain, or the turtles are crossing the road, so it means it's gonna rain. But something else, for preppers that you need to kind of think about is, if the grid goes down, we're not going to have the luxury of being able to pull up a smartphone, smartwatch, whatever you're using, and figure out the weather. So, solution to this is in this. It'll tie into another video that I really want to do, talking about knowledge and, how much, preppers need to store away in books and stuff, and how much they should be reading and learning. But essentially, you can go online now and you can find, all of the weather information from last year and all the weather information from 2 years ago, and you can look at the historic average for the last 50 years, the last 30 years, and get a general idea of, when the cold fronts are going to come in, when does the, spring rain start. And so I think this is a really important thing for preppers to, print out of their area. It's not only important for, growing crops and, taking care of, cattle and different livestock, but at the same time, you might let winter creep up on you. And if you live in a place where your winters are really bad and you only have enough wood for, 3 weeks instead of, 2 months, then that can, seriously mess you up. So, printing out historic weather charts, they can, tell you what the average temperature for December was, for the last 15 years or 20 years, or all of this has been recorded and digitalized, and all it takes is you printing it out of your area. If you plan on installing, solar panels or, wind turbines, then you'd already print out part of the maps anyway that show, the peak sun hours, how many hours in your area, and, the times of the year that, they're at 3 hours, or the times of the year that they're at 5 hours. Same thing with the wind. You're going to know what the average wind for the year is, 9.5 miles an hour. But for some reason, August, September, and October, it peaks up to, 20-something miles an hour for their average. And then June and July, for some reason, average like 3.5. I don't know. All these things that deal with weather are important, and they're going to help make you a more successful prepper. Pre-planning, you're setting up all of your, solar and wind, and when you should adjust the angles for the time of the day or the time of the year. For livestock, you know when you should probably start, stocking up for them, or, slaughtering off some of the herd. And then for you yourself, I think it's pretty important to know, hey, it's not gonna, if it snows in your area, it's probably not gonna snow, in, October, but, 10 years ago, it snowed in October twice, and then it didn't snow for 10 years, but then 20 years ago, it snowed in October again, and, maybe there's a pattern there. I don't know. This is something that is unique for every area, and I'd say also, if you plan on bugging out, then you not only need to know, your bug out location, but depending on the distance of your bug out location, you might need to know, all this weather information for your route or your trek that you have ahead of you. Because, your bug out location could be in a temperate forest, but what you didn't know is there's a wet season that you have to cross through. If it's, May, April, and maybe part of June, it's really, really wet throughout this area. And historically speaking, they get, a couple flood days or whatever. So I've given you the information. Now what you need to do is, I don't expect you to memorize all these charts and, how many, the average rainfall for June in Arizona and, the northern part for the last 20 years. I don't expect you to memorize your whole area, but if you don't have a prepping library or just a library in general, then I think you're, sorely messed up. Even if you survive, I think knowledge is what's gonna, bring humanity back faster if anything happens. And so this is something that, gets tucked away into a binder, and you might never have to, use it, which is a good thing. But if you do, you're gonna be happy and, fortunate that you, took the time to print out this information. So that's all the time I got for you. Like I said in the beginning of the video, if you like what I'm doing, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. And if you would like to support the channel through my Venmo account, I put the information for that in the description down below. I might have missed something. You can comment on that. You can comment on, the shaky phone because I'm going through traffic. I don't care. But I'll see y'all next time, guys.